Tracee Ellis Ross says that it's more important to be who you are than chase what you want. And I want to dive in on that a little bit. So if you're new here, I'm Neysa, and in my work, I connect the gap between branding and creative through cultural competence. I believe that brand identity is actually self-actualization. And when it comes to Black founders, thought leaders, and creatives, understanding who we are has more nuance to it because of our lived experience, largely due to our race, largely due to these intersectionalities that shape how the world responds to us. So when we're growing businesses, when we're building brands, we really have to stay grounded and connected to that because we can easily get lost in the sauce. Now, what does that mean to get to know us instead of chase what we want? When we chase outcomes, we're chasing things that we largely have no control over. And so now our emotions are tied to something completely external. Now our emotions are tied to something that we have no influence over. But if we reposition that and say, who am I? Ask ourselves, who am I really? What lights me up? What makes me curious? Why am I doing this? What gets me out of bed in the morning? What is my perfect day? What is my ideal feeling, ideal experience? And focus on creating that in the process of, in the building of. That creates a completely different set of outcomes. Now, building is the point. Now, the day-to-day is the point. A lot of times when you see people talk about things and they say, I don't believe in work-life balance, or I work 6-7 days a week, they're not doing things that are not aligned with them. When you fall in love with the process, when you love what it is that you're doing, and you love the nitty-gritty of what you're doing, now it's like you can't put it down. It's like reading a good book. Like you're just like, you're flying through it because you can't put it down. And I think people who believe more so in work-life integration, they're on that side of things where they're like, this work is so fun. It's so me. It's so aligned. And when something is meant for you, it is hard to put it down. You just think about, oh, I could do this, I could do that. Here's how I could help. Here's how I can serve. Here's how I can problem solve. That's a very different feeling than building something for external validation. That's a very different feeling than building something and waiting to see the result and deciding how you're going to feel based on that result, versus when you're in love with the process, when you're in love with just the learning and the doing, then you're tied to your input. You're not tied to someone else's yes or someone else's no. And that's a really, really powerful place to be. It's a state that allows you to be in control of just your self-perception and how you feel about it. Failures all of a sudden don't become failures. They're opportunities for growth. They bring you a step closer because they give you that little bit of insight. Focusing on who you are allows you to move in the right direction and build a life that is actually a perfect fit for you, rather than a life that someone else might see as ideal, but on a deep internal somatic level that you didn't build a life for you, you built a life for someone else, right? So that's really how I interpreted her statement. But if you've watched that episode, comment below, let me know some of your favorite takeaways.